What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Dazzle video. Today we are going to go over best teammates. So these are heroes in a nutshell that have a lot of illusions or units. These are melee heroes that go in, take up a lot of focus in the team fight. We have spell synergy heroes that just synergize well, and then big ult supports. These are always great targets to grave and do a lot of damage to the enemy team. The first group, Heal Bomb Partners. The reason Naga Siren is a great teammate is she can spawn her illusions and you can easily heal bomb people, even from level 1 or 2, depending on when Naga Siren takes each skill. So the mirror image does a lot of damage. She also has an armor reduction spell, Riptide, which helps your spell do even more damage and really synergizes well with your own ult, Bad Juju. Next up is PL. So in a nutshell, PL has his W, which creates illusions, and his ult also creates illusions, which helps your Shadow Wave do a lot more damage. And just as a quick side note, you can grave PL through the portrait, so you don't have to actually click through his illusions. You can just grave him there. You can also Shadow Wave him through the portrait as well. Next up is Undying. Undying is very strong just from the very beginning because his zombies count as targetable units with the Shadow Wave. So you can target the zombies and they all count as units clumped up right next to the opponent. So your Shadow Wave does a ton of damage. So Dazzle synergizes really well with Tombstone. The next hero is CK. So CK is a great teammate because his ult, he pulls the enemy towards him and creates a good target for your Shadow Wave. And the next is Meepo, again because Meepo gives you a great target to Shadow Wave. Okay, next up we have Broodmother with her Spiderlings, which act kind of like Undying zombies, where they group up around an enemy and you can Shadow Wave. Chen is an honorable mention. Because if he gets a bunch of centaur creeps or any type of melee creeps and surrounds the opponent, he also becomes a really good Shadow Wave target. Okay, next we're going to go into team fight focal point heroes. So these are heroes that the enemy team cannot ignore. They do too much damage, and on top of that, they are melee, they buy blinks, or they're inherently strong right up in the enemy's face, and they do a lot of damage. So as a Dazzle, you love that because the enemy team cannot ignore these heroes. They have to focus on them, and Dazzle can focus on keeping these heroes alive. We got Axe, CK, DB, LC, Lifestealer, Huskar, Sven, Tiny, Wraith King, again Meepo, PA, Troll, Ursa, Spectre, Lesh, Timber, Lone Druid. I got Slardar in here. Brew I did consider putting in the Heal Bomb Partners because of his ult. You got Bristle, ET, Shaker, Night Stalker, Omni now does a lot of damage. Punka, Alk, AM, Bloodseeker, Faceless Void, Jug, Ricky, and Slark. In the 2B category, this is the same category as the Teamfight Focal Point, but they don't do as much damage. They're more of crowd control type heroes. So the enemy has potential to kite them, ignore them, and jump on the Dazzle in the backline. So these are heroes like Pudge, Earth Spirit, Centaur, Doom, Clock, Abaddon, Primal Beast, Ogre, Pango, Sand King, Bounty, Underlord, Tusks, Tides, and Spirit Breaker. Big ults. These are heroes that have such high damage with their teamfight abilities that the enemy is really going to want to prioritize killing these heroes. So basically, instead of Dazzle being target number 1, these supports become target number 1. It takes the enemy's focus off of you and puts it on them. And as a bonus, if you save these heroes before they get their ult off, they have a chance to pop their BKB and get their ult off. And lastly, we have our spell synergy heroes. The spell synergy category, we have Huskar, Oracle, and Dark Willow. So Huskar is a hero that gets stronger the lower his HP gets. So having Dazzle as a teammate is really great for Huskar because he can keep him alive even when the enemy just manages to get him past this threshold and almost kills him. A really good grave will make the game basically a free win. Huskar Dazzle is one of the most recognized combos in the game of Dota, and I recently learned that they are actually family members. Next up, we have Oracle. So Oracle is a great teammate for Dazzle because he has a spell, False Promise, that delays death by 10 seconds. And so if you pair that up with your Shallow Grave, you can keep a hero alive for 15 seconds in a team fight. So we're going to try to demonstrate it here. Right, so when the False Promise is about to end, we are going to cast our Shallow Grave. Alright, so no matter how much damage this Huskar took, he did not die. So you can keep a hero alive for a very, very long time in team fights. Last but not least, we have Dark Willow. In the late game, Dark Willows will have these two talents. They'll have an Octarine and they'll have their Axe, which allows them to be in Shadow Realm for a lot longer, which means they are not targetable by enemies, but you can still grave them and cast Shadow Wave on them by clicking on their portrait, which makes Dazzle and Dark Willow a really, really hard-hitting combo in the late game because that Dark Willow will do a lot of damage, but the enemy team will not be able to target Dark Willow. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys learned something, and good luck in your next games as Dazzle.